So I asked thousands of loyal Disney fans when the worst time to cruise was. Now before we jump into this, I want to say that none of these are a bad time to travel. A Disney cruise is fabulous any time of year, but it can definitely change during the worst time of year. But just like the Disney parks, there are pros and cons to each season, and for some people, you might not even be able to choose when you want to go, but that won't stop us from trying. So we're going to be covering everything from summer break to spring vacation, Halloween, the Maritime cruises, special days at sea, the costs, the crowds, what the very best parts of them are, and the worst. And my first comment here is from user ThatDerek, and they said, "We avoid summer, too expensive and too many kids. Late fall between Halloween and Christmas is that perfect sweet spot, at least for the Caribbean." I've got to say right away, we absolutely agree with this. Summer is a bit of a tough time to do a Disney cruise because it is going to be busy. And even though summer can get a bit of a hard rap, the thing is a couple of the best destinations are in the summer. The Disney Wonder will go to Alaska from end of May through the beginning of September, and they always have one cruise ship going to Europe. It used to be the Disney Magic, it's been the Disney Dream, and next summer the Disney Fantasy is headed to Europe. So with these new ships coming out, it's really gonna open up some of the travel. There are also that new island Lookout Key that has its first preview cruise next week. Stay tuned. As you can see here on our poll, summer was definitely the winner of the worst time to travel by a landslide. There were 63% that said summer is the worst time of year to take a Disney cruise. And of course, in part, that's going to be because kids are out of school, so ships are at max capacity. With max capacity becomes a lot of lines. You're going to have a lot more tiny humans in those lines for character meet and greets, the shows, the pools. They're just going to be jam-packed everywhere. And while those ships are going to be full of kids, they're also going to be full of adults. Because of the fact that not everybody can take off whenever they want, it is really popular to take those summer cruises with the little tiny humans or without them. Those specific ports that are only available during the summer with Alaska and Europe, that also really increases the attractiveness of a Disney cruise for families and adults only as well. Just a little something to keep in mind. There are definitely pros and cons to each season, and on top of that, the prices are going to be pretty much the highest they're going to be any time of year, so summer is definitely too expensive and too many kids for us as well. That being said, there are many people that do not have the freedom to choose to cruise whenever they want to. Disney Cruise is a popular choice, especially with people that have really high stress, demanding jobs. Those types of positions don't always allow you to take vacation anytime you want to. And of course, a lot of people on Disney Cruise have children and they have very select school breaks, so those times do get really busy. If you are traveling in the summer, you definitely want to take into consideration those lines that will be there. Get there early for anything that you really want to have a good experience for. So character meet and greets, if you want to do trivia, get there 15 to 20 minutes early if that ship is full. And you might want to do these when the ship is not full as well, but definitely if you're cruising in the summer, get there early so you can get the seats that you want. Especially for the Broadway style shows, you need to get there maybe 15 to 30 minutes early to get a really good seat. The pools are also going to be really full. Oh, and that also goes for any of the shows on deck. Those shows are going to be full, so get there early to get yourself a good space. The great thing here is it's a quick walk from there back to your stateroom. It's not like the parks where sometimes it feels like you go on vacation to stand in line for the bus. For the summer season, the beginning of June is also the beginning of hurricane season. Typically though, the worst storms are going to be mid-August to late October, so that's not usually as big of a consideration during this time of year. They are going to be busy, and for me also, I always try to remember that it's going to be hot. Humidity does get to me, and of course it's not going to change a lot in those tropical resorts. It's just going to be hot and humid year-round, so I always remember and have a nice cold bottle of water with me when I get off the ship. And there is an interesting perspective here as well for your tiny humans. During summer travel, they can make more friends because there's just going to be a lot more kids on the ship. Here we have Grateful 7785 saying their there's never a worse time to go on one, only when it's time to get off, and I completely agree 100% that is the worst time. Getting off the ship is just a reality check, and it's not even the same as being at the parks because you're just so isolated in that fun, luxurious world. It takes a second to readjust when you get off, and that goes for the sea legs too, so if you feel like you're weaving a little bit once you hit land, that should go away pretty fast. Joy Kinzer 3444 says, we have been on a merry time in late November and Marvel Day at Sea in February. We definitely prefer the merry time. Merry time is the second worst season to travel with 17% of the votes. Now I will say this surprised me a little bit because who can do a theme better than Disney? Practically no one. But who can do a theme better than Disney Cruise? The Disney parks. So if you're planning to go for all of that Christmas magic, sometimes the parks might be the way to go. That being said, a very popular activity on Disney cruise ships is for families to get into their Christmas pajamas and take a family picture with Santa, with the gingerbread house, or with the tree. That's definitely a cute photo op that you're not really gonna get anywhere else, unless you hire Santa to come to your home, but I gotta say the cruise is a lot more fun. A bit more expensive too though. And the Maritime Cruises is one of those times of year that, again, not everybody's going to be able to take off for, so during the Christmas week and the week of Thanksgiving, typically you're gonna see higher prices for those times because the tiny humans are out of school. There are a lot of teachers that love to cruise on Disney and they're out of school as well. Those strict schedules don't leave a lot of room to maneuver, but I digress. The Maritime Cruise is an amazing experience and the characters have the cutest outfits to match the theme of the season. They got new ones last year. It's really adorable. They're gonna have maritime themed crafting activities, deck shows, Santa's Winter Wonderland Ball, which is really cute but doesn't actually have the audience dancing. When I first read that, I did think of a ball with a lot of people dancing in the middle of the room. It's not quite like that. It's a stage show, but it's really cute. It's unique, and it just brings that Christmas spirit. The thing with the Christmas on the cruise ship is there's decorations everywhere. There's going to be themed treats, themed drinks, so the vibe is there. The thing is it's also in the Caribbean a lot of times, so it's warm, which can take people out of the Christmas dynamic, and I was very surprised. I get so excited about the cruises that I work on a lot of little things before we go. So I spent so much time planning for the cruise that I kind of forgot to plan for Christmas. It was a great cruise. We had so much fun. I love Maritime, but it made me stop and think for future cruises, how is that going to fit in with our traditional Christmas activities? Because Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. So the first time I did a Maritime cruise, it just took me out of my routine, I think, and then all of a sudden it was Christmas and I felt like it just ran by. Now obviously these are not problems at all, just a little consideration for the timing of your cruise, fitting in with your regular life activities. And user JV8, I am going to paraphrase a little bit. They said that they think the worst time is going to be spring because there's nothing exciting happening. They continue to say there's nothing special like Halloween and Maritime, and of course it will depend on whether you want a cheap cruise with less people. They're saying that spring could be a good option for that for adults. I've got to say spring can go a little bit of both ways. You are going to have spring break starting in March, and that's going to drive up the prices and the crowds. There are a couple of things that will happen in the spring, and one of those is going to be the special days at sea. There is a Marvel Day at Sea. It is only available in those first months on select cruises, January through March. So if you're looking for that particular cruise, you're gonna have to go in spring because that's the only time they have them. That being said, January and February, there is always at least one or two cruises that have surprising rates because it's just not a busy time of year. That's our favorite time to cruise typically because of the crowds are just a little bit smaller, the rates are a little better. And a pro tip here, if you are looking to make friends for your tiny humans or single travelers or single parents before the cruise, if you go to Facebook, you can typically find a Facebook cruise that a Disney cruise passenger has created. You'll be able to find it by putting in the name of the ship you're going on, the destination, and the date. So like Disney, Fantasy, Bahamian, whatever dates. And if you're trying to make friends for your little ones before the trip, that's a good place to start. I think one of the coolest things about Disney cruising is Disney weddings. I just love it when I hear stories of people meeting on the cruise and then getting married later in life. I just think that's really cute. Wolf Dominic says, says can't vote because I've only been on one. That's okay, we'll have plenty more polls, and I'm pretty sure you'll be on some more Disney cruises. And Colin says, I honestly don't think there's a worse time. If any, I'd maybe say Christmas because you won't be able to spend time with all of your family, but you could always move activities around so that you can do both. I have to agree with Colin. I don't think that there is a worst time to do a Disney cruise. That being said, summer is the last time we will try to book. And last but not least, Halloween got 11% of the vote. I was not surprised to see that this was the second favorite time. Actually, I was surprised to see that spring is the favorite season, with Halloween being the second favorite season. That is a very close race right there. And Halloween is a lot of fun. Again, they're gonna have special events just for Halloween. They're gonna have decorations, they're gonna have special treats, cocktails, costumes. I love this costumes on Chip and Dale. It's so cute. Mickey and Minnie as well. All of the characters have their Halloween attire. These do provide some fun family photo ops. And I just think Halloween is cooler on the cruise ships. That's because I can't trick or treat anywhere else. But it's really fun to get together with your friends. And I do think spring and Halloween are the best times for adults only Disney cruises. Because if you like to get dressed up for Halloween, there is no greater Halloween party, in my opinion, than on a Disney cruise ship. For Halloween, they're gonna have those themed drinks and treats. There'll be a special deck party. They're gonna have the masquerade. Of course, there's gonna be candy. And if you like dressing up, it's just really a lot of fun. And one other thing we really love with the themed cruises, especially for any cruises going out of Florida, they usually have a room decor package that will go up somewhere between 30 and 60 days before your cruise. You'll be able to look in the onboard gifts section and find the room decor if they are going to have it. It's just fun to have the special themed ones. We love the Maritime decor in particular. I love a good cozy blanket, especially around Christmas, and Disney Cruise Line themed blanket just makes it feel that much more cozy. The themed cruises are a lot of fun, but what makes the fun is showing up and enjoying it. There are going to be large crowds for those Maritime activities. Again, just get there early, get yourself a spot. They're super cute, but you can't see it if you get there even 10 minutes before it starts. You're probably not going to get a good place to watch. And the atrium is a great place. Typically, you'll be able to view those things from multiple decks above as well that overlook the atrium. For example, this is deck 3 on the Disney Wonder, and you can see people that are completely lined up on decks 4 and 5 as well. And those can be great views. You just got to get there early. Did I mention get there early? And of course, as you get older, there are Christmas parties every year, but there's not always a really good Halloween party. Disney Cruise Line is one of my favorite places to celebrate Halloween, and especially with the Haunted Mansion Lounge coming to the Treasure. Oh my gosh. And the Destiny. Hello. Halloween is gonna get really good on the cruise ships. And if you missed out on this poll and you want your comments featured in the next video, make sure to subscribe, turn that bell notification on so you get notified when I run the next poll. And if you want to know what souvenirs we never regret, check this one out.